convinced me to do it, but I needed your organizational help.
One of my big goals for this year was learning Spanish, and the thing that I did that really jump-started that goal was completing the Lingoda Sprint. Now, if you've never heard of the Lingoda Sprint before, this is a 60-day language challenge where you take either 60 or 30 classes within a 2-month period. And it's a challenge because if you successfully complete it, you can get part of your money back. But completing the sprint successfully can actually be kind of difficult. I know this because my partner decided to go and do the sprint himself for Spanish after seeing how much I loved it. And I realized that there are a ton of little rules that you need to know and pay attention to in order to complete the sprint successfully. After showing him all the tips and tricks that I did, I figured why not make a YouTube video to show you guys as well. So let's jump in. The first thing you need to understand, you need to do in order to complete the sprint successfully is to understand those rules. One way to find them is just by searching Lingoda Sprint rules, and then here under the student knowledge base, you can find them, or on the actual Lingoda Sprint page. You can scroll down here, frequently asked question. And right here, the second one, what are the language sprint rules? And by that, you can click here and see the sprint rules for the current sprint. Now this is for the sprint that starts in November. Let's say that you're looking for your sprint rules that have already started. Those you can find on this student knowledge base page. So for today, I'm gonna use these rules from the October sprint just as an example. So this is really just a simple PDF that goes through the rules for the sprint. But let me show you a couple that are especially important that you need to pay attention to and that we'll use in just a moment when it comes to planning out our class schedule. The first one is within these general sprint rules, you need to pay attention to the start and end date for each month. So for example, on this one, the month does not start on the first of the month. The month starts on the 8th of October and goes to the 6th of November. So it's not going to start on the 1st and end on the 30th or 31st. So really you need to be careful about this when it comes to scheduling your classes to make sure that they line up accurately within these dates. And then you'll see here on 1.6, this is when you'll be given your class credits in order to book your class. So also note that you will get your class credits before the sprint begins. So don't schedule classes before the sprint begins either. Another important distinction is this disqualification from cashback. These are going to be our really important rules that we need to pay attention to. The first one, if you take a class before the start date. So once again, we need to pay attention to the start of month 1 when we go to schedule our classes. And finally, the last few rules I want to call out are within this classes counted. These two, 5.2 and 5.3, are very, very important. So note that you can only attend 1 class per day. And for the regular sprint, which is 15 classes per month, you can only do 5 classes per week, and a week is considered Monday to Sunday. So you want to make sure that you plan ahead properly, because if you get too far behind with your classes, there's no way for you to catch up because you can't take multiple classes on one day, and you can only take 5 classes per week. So that's important to note in order to successfully complete it, and we'll want to know that when it goes to planning out our classes. We are going to use those rules that we just saw to kind of map out our potential classes, and I'll show you how I did this really. This is the exact method I use to plan in advance and that I used with my partner in order to complete the sprint successfully. So as we saw earlier, we need to pay close attention to the start and end date for each month. So once again, this was under our general sprint rules. And so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and mark that on this calendar. The beginning of this month is the 8th of October. I'm gonna put a little line here. And then this one goes through to the 6th of November. I'm just gonna take my November one and come to here. So now we see that my first month starts here. It continues, it continues, it continues, it continues, all the way until here. So the second month starts on November 7th, the following day. And then this one ends on December 6th. So once again, I'm just gonna come in and do it like this. So let's work with this first one, which is October 8th to November 6th. So we know that we need to take 15 classes within this time period. So we know we have 5 max per week and only 1 class per day. I would also suggest that when you're doing this, that you take class at the same time every single time, and you schedule all of your classes in advance. So we're doing this planning here now so that when we're ready, we can go onto the Lingoda website and book all of the classes for this first month before the month even starts. I need to find spots for 15 classes. I like to take my classes at the beginning of the week, so I'm gonna schedule them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We're just gonna see how long it takes us to get to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there we go. These are our classes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now because I'm doing 4 per week, I'm not going over my maximum 5 per week. And then on the last week, I have a little break and I only need to take 3 classes that week. You should aim for 3 to 4 per week. I think that would help. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That version would also work where you could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this would be our 14. And then we could still keep that same schedule on this Monday and do that for 15. So now we have that all planned out in advance, and you can just do the same method for the following one. So let's say we do 1, 2, 3, 14, and 15. And now you're done. Or if you wanted to do 3, 4, 3, 4, then it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 13, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So actually that kind of like 3, 4, 3, 4 method might spread it out a little better over the things. Or you could just do every other day, whatever. But I like having the exact same schedule each week just so I know, okay, I'm always taking class at this time on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursday. So that is what helps me the most. And now we're actually gonna go on the website using this plan to book our classes. This is what mine looks like now. If you actually wanna see what classes you have coming up, you can come to my course. I'm currently in beginner A2, and you can see I've taken these classes already because of the check mark. This one is scheduled, and I have not scheduled these yet. So if you're a little more advanced and you wanna go through and actually like look at what the different lessons are, you don't want to do it in order, for example, you could do that from this My Course page. But what we're going to look at is this right here called Book Classes. And so this takes us to a booking page. Over here on the left, you can see each of the chapters. If you click this arrow, it expands and you can see all of the 4 lessons within that chapter. And then over here on the right, you have the option to select a date and select a time. So for this situation, I need to schedule some real classes, so I'm gonna show you how I do that. I'm gonna open up this one for chapter 5, and if I select this, you can see all of them are selected, but what I'm gonna do is just select this first one. And I like to take my classes, as you see, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm gonna come down to this one. And right now, I like to take my classes in the morning. I'm typically taking them at 7 or 8 a.m., so I'm gonna click that so it only shows me those class times. Now, if you wanted to say take them around lunchtime, you could select noon and either have it be plus or minus 1 hour. So it'll show you 11, 12, and 1, or plus or minus 2 hours. So you see classes at 10, 11, 12, 1, and 2. Okay, so we have my first one on Monday. Let's go ahead and book. When I click that, you'll see here how many credits you have left. and confirmation of the date and time of your booking, just click confirm. And you'll notice over here that it automatically moved onto the next class. So if you like booking them in order, just select one class at a time, then move on to the next one. It'll do that automatically for you, which is really nice. Now what I'm gonna do is click this arrow over here on the right and go to Tuesday. So you don't have to go up here and fiddle with the drop down. You can just click these arrows to go in between each day. So now on Tuesday, October 31st, I am gonna schedule it at the same time. And then once again, it's adjusted over here and already taken me to the third one. I'm gonna move one day ahead, and I'm just gonna book all of them at the same time for this week. That's it. It's pretty easy, but let me show you why you should really book them in advance is because, for example, these are the classes that I want for next week. However, if I clear all of my times, you'll see that the only ones available are these third and fourth ones on that Monday. The only ones available on Tuesday are, okay, there's one at 3 p.m. that I could take if I wanted to take the first one, but I don't like taking classes in the afternoon. So there's none available at my typical time, 7. There's one at 8 a.m., but once again, it's like the last one in the unit. So this is why it's also better to book all of your classes in advance, because if not, you may run into a situation where you don't get the ones you have and you're like in a bit of a stressful situation. That happened to me during the sprint. My last week of the first month, I didn't plan in advance, and so I had to take my classes out of order that week and at like really weird times. And so the second month, I just booked them all in advance. And then of course, once you have these booked, just go and put them in any calendar app or planner that you use so you don't forget. And if you're a forgetful person, make sure to set an alarm 5-10 minutes before your class so that you don't forget to go to it, because I will admit, not during the sprint, but after that, I did that a couple times. Finally, I want to show you kind of one more rule that is a part of the sprint just to be aware of so you don't get caught off guard. At the end of the sprint, there is something called a rollover, where you're automatically enrolled into a third month if you don't intentionally opt out of it. So you can cancel the rollover within the second month up to the end date of your sprint, your second month of the sprint. If you don't want to be automatically enrolled, make sure to send that email. I have been super happy with the classes. I've really loved them, so I have continued. And now I think I've now done almost 100 classes with Lingoda. I really love them. I continue to do 4 a week after the sprint, but it is a financial commitment. So just be aware that that will occur if you don't actively cancel it. I hope this video was really helpful for you. It can be so easy to not pay close enough attention to the rules and, get disqualified without even knowing it. Of course, Lingoda, this is like a fantastic challenge and I think a really great way to start learning a new language. But I mean, they're a business. They don't want to make it too easy to complete the challenge. So long as you plan properly in advance and make sure that you know the rules really well, it's not too hard to complete and win the sprint. So if you guys want to see any of my other videos about the sprint, I have my review here, and then I'll put my 6-month update here. Otherwise, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys!